Hey YouTube, happy Friday. Hope everybody is doing all right. I'm just checking in like I normally would every Friday. All that good stuff. Hope you guys enjoyed the Emerald City Comic Con vlogs. Please, I would love to hear everything that you guys thought. I did my best. It was a lot of fun. I had an awesome time. Obviously, you guys saw the whole thing. So yeah, it was amazing. So anyhow. Today's subject is my thoughts on manga or manga, whatever way you pronounce to say it. I always I try to stick to manga because that's actually how it's pronounced, but sometimes you get Americanized, you say manga and whatever. I digress. Anyways, so yeah, somebody asked me what my thoughts on manga were, and so I thought I would just kind of like explain to you guys my thoughts on manga. My thought is I love it. I love manga. For those of you who don't personally know me, I actually, even though I'm dark skinned, I'm really mixed, and I ended up growing up with the Japanese side of my family. So I'm really close with them, and so by proxy, I grew up around a lot of anime and manga. I grew up watching things like Inuyasha, Cowboy Bebop, all the Miyazaki films, lots of like Doraemon, things like that. So I actually, most of my nerdiness is really deeply rooted in anime and manga and stuff. So, like my first cartoons were Pokemon back in the early 90s. And then, those other shows that I just mentioned. And Nintendo things. My first games that my first gaming system console, whatever, was all they were all like the Pokemon games, Animal Crossing, whatever, and then like Legend of Zelda. And the first books I read were Doraemon, Anpamon, things like that. Actually, as well, when I was a kid, maybe for kindergarten and first grade, my mother had me going to a weekend school or a Sunday school in the international district with other Japanese kids. So I was learning Japanese as I was going. Unfortunately, I'm not fluent in Japanese, but I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm taking it in school. I'm minoring in Japanese studies to boost my marketing major, but that's not the point. So yeah, I love Japanese culture, anime, manga, things like that. And I was gonna actually tell you guys about a couple of my favorite mangas to read, and then a couple of the shows that I'm following. So first and foremost, the one that I love the most is it's been most of the ones I'm reading are done. They've been done for a long time, but they're just great. So first one is Deadman Wonderland. I didn't like the TV show. The anime was not that great, but the manga is awesome, really good, quick reads. There's like 13 of them. It's just a cool series. It's about a lot of really screwed up stuff, and I don't want to blabbing about it, but if you get a chance to read Deadman Wonderland, you should. This one is probably my favorite manga of all time. It's called Eyes. It was kind of like a slice of life romance. For those of you again who don't know Devin, I'm kind of a sucker for like a good romance sometimes. So Eyes was really good. It debuted in like a Shonen Jump back when I was like in the 5th grade or something. And I read, like the first half of the first issue, and it was great. And I went years without remembering what it was called or knowing what it was about, or just like looking for it, and I could never remember it until I discovered it on Comixology. And I swiftly bought the entire series and am about halfway through reading it. But Eyes, it's I''S, just like that. And it's on Comixology. It's a great series. And then here's the one that's pretty fan servicey, but Heaven's Lost Property. So the TV show is awful. Well, the first season was fine, but the rest of it was pretty awful. But the manga was amazing. It was hilarious. Yes, there's big boobs and all that fan servicey stuff, but the writing that went into it. And by the way, you can't buy it in a store. It was only ever released printed in Japanese. The only way you can find it online in English is if you find one of those sites that translates mangas and then posts them. So I can't remember the one that I found, but there's a few of them in the area, or not in the area, a few of them on the web that you can find. Just make sure you don't get one of those virusy ones. But anyways, Heaven's Lost Property, probably one of the funniest things I've ever read, and I did more laughing out loud at that manga than I have done for any comic book, really. So those would be like my top 3 to talk to people about. I mean, it was hilarious. The main character, he was just like this pervy little fucker that just got himself into all these shenanigans, but deep down he was a good person. Sounds like every character from any sort of anime or manga, but it was good. And then on top of that, I mean, I follow most of the shows that everybody else follows. So like, Assassination Classroom, even though it's kind of like, whatever, it's a little old. Sword Art Online, can't wait for season 3. Attack on Titan coming out, I think, October of this year. ReZero, which I need more. Who doesn't need more? Tokyo Ghoul is great, and I really want to see what kind of happens from that. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. Any Miyazaki film, my favorite was probably Princess Mononoke. That was like one of my first, like, because that one's kind of like the same level as like a PG-13 anime or whatever, and that was one of my first like big kid movies when I was little that my mom like let me watch, and I loved it. Prince Ashitaka's like his sword, and Yakul, his elk, they were both like the coolest things to me, and so I was always drawing them and stuff as a kid. And then we'll talk about Naruto. I grew up reading Naruto as opposed to watching Dragon Ball Z like everybody else. Like I saw Dragon Ball Z, whatever, like after school on on Toonami or whatever. But the one that really always got me was Naruto when it started running in America in Shonen Jump, and I'd followed it up until I think I hit high school. And then once I hit high school, it stopped, like being super cool. And, you get into that weird stage where you want to be cool. So I stopped watching it. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh man, I was really dumb for trying to be like everybody else instead of just being myself. So I'm in the process of like finishing Naruto. And everybody that I tell that to, they're like, oh, good luck. Yeah, good luck, bro. So, so yeah, anime is kind of like my guilty pleasure. So I will like binge like maybe 2 or 3 hours of it before bed, like every other night, and just to like catch up on my shows. I just started doing another Gundam series. Gundam's cool. The only one that really got me was Gundam Seed. All the other ones were like, but it's the Iron Blood Children. I don't know anything about it. I just watched the first couple episodes, and then Trinity 7. I don't know anything about that except for it's like a demon chick, something like that. So yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. Testament New Sister Devil. That I don't really know anything about it, so if it's good, tell me. If it's not good, tell me. It seems kind of weird already, but whatever. And yeah, so those are my thoughts on manga. I can't wait for Sakura-con, or Sakura-con, whatever you want to say, but I say Sakura. That's coming up April 14th, 15th, and 16th, so you guys will see me there. I'm going to be vlogging, all that stuff. So if you see me, holler. I will also be there probably like overnight. Last year I was there at like 3 a.m, drunk off my ass, playing Cards Against Humanity. That was great. So hopefully we can do that again. And yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, if you like these nerd novelty videos that I'm putting out, please, tell me your thoughts on them. I would really like to know what you guys would like to see or hear, because these aren't necessarily actually important to the industry. These are just kind of like little things that I think are interesting that I want to share with you guys. So if you guys have any suggestions, make sure that you reach out. You can Twitter me, you can Instagram me, you can Facebook me, you can, comment here on the YouTube channel. A link to all my social media stuff will be in the description below. But that's really it, guys. So hit that subscribe button, and I will make sure to see you guys next week. So take care, YouTube.